Hey, thanks for being here in the lab. I'm your host, Miriam Allred. I'm here today with one of our show sponsors, 52 Weeks Marketing. On the show, I put our guests and their operations under the microscope, so I wanted to do the same with our sponsors so you could get to know them a little bit better. So here's a quick FAQ style podcast with Dylan Schwartz, the head of sales at 52 Weeks Marketing. Dylan, I'm excited to be here with you. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thanks, Miriam. Thanks for having me on. Excited to be here.
Absolutely. I love talking to you. And so this is a natural fit for both of us.
Absolutely.
So I've got about 5 questions here in a few minutes. Are you ready to dial in here?
Let's do it.
So, first question that you get often from the owners that you work with, they come to you and they say, I've got a lot of referral partners, but I'm not getting a lot out of them. How can 52 weeks help me?
Yeah, great question. I think we look at statistics always to start, and I think the number is less than 3% of owners have sales or marketing experience. So what happens? They hire a marketer. There's a lot of horror stories around hiring marketers out there, of course. But what do they tell them? They say, go to referral sources and get referrals. More times than not, it fizzles out after a few months and there's turnover in that role. What we've done is we've just systematized the whole approach to marketing with regards to feet on the streets marketing, of course, and we use it within our own home care agency. So our marketers are out there following a system every day, and that's really what 52 weeks marketing is comprised of. We tell them where to go, who to talk to, what to say, how to ask for the business, and how often to go back to those facilities. So it's all turnkey and it's very systematized. A lot of marketers are going out there and, they're more of a professional visitor than they are a marketer because they're not asking for the business. They may not be talking to the right contacts, the ones that interact with seniors that identify an additional level of care that's needed. So I think having a system is really important, and, building on that to establish good partnerships in the community can really lead to a lot of success for them.
That was great. Another common question that you get is around budget. People are always wondering how much to dedicate towards digital versus referral marketing. How do you answer that question?
Oh, yeah. You see a lot of people spending a lot of money on paid leads and SEO and this type of stuff. And it's hard when you're starting a business as well. Home Care Pulse's most recent study on this, I believe, was 80% of all referrals or leads come from a point of need where crisis happens. And the reality is home care is not cheap. So it's important we identify the right sources to get referrals or leads from that have a high conversion rate. With that being said, influence centers, as we refer to them as home health, hospice, SNFs, rehabs, ALFs, etc. This is the point of need that I'm referring to. So with our system and with our marketers that are out in the field working for our home care agency, this is where we like to put most of our eggs as far as baskets are concerned. The other 20% being paid leads, SEO, Google AdWords, not a bad source, especially if you need to grow the business. But again, going back to conversion rates, it's a much, much lower conversion rate than building partnerships in the community. We look at around 60 to 70% when we have partnerships in the community that are sending referrals, and that's from referral to assessment to client. So when we get in front of the senior or their loved ones, it's obviously a much higher conversion rate. So we like to put most of our eggs in that basket, like I said. We do use some paid sources, of course, as well. We built our business diversifying our referral sources or leads. But again, you got to be quick to the punch. Those leads are going to more than one company, and 40% or so of those intake calls or those calls in general are coming after hours. So someone has to be readily available.
Mhm. Is it a prerequisite for a company to have a dedicated salesperson on their team to use the 52 week system?
It's a good question. I deal with that every day. It's ideal. It's absolutely ideal to have someone focused and consistent, which is the key here for marketing for a home care agency. But let's call a spade a spade. A lot of agencies opening their doors cannot afford to hire a marketer right out the gate. So the solution we've come up with for that is we train and onboard the owner as the marketer. Whether they're introverted or extroverted, they figure it out because they have skin in the game. And we walk them through a very thorough onboarding process, which helps them identify a database of key facilities or influence centers to target, the right position. We create a routing schedule for them so they know where they're going each day of the week in the most efficient manner possible. We help them with their talk tracks. And we get them up and going so they start generating some revenue. And within a 3 to 6 month window or so, we'll make a recommendation typically to help them hire a marketer so that they can get back in the office and deal with, upper management type of tasks on that they have on their plate on a regular basis. So again, the short answer, no, it's not mandatory, but it's ideal, and we can work around that.
That's great. Another key part of the system is the CRM. So there's a CRM piece that these marketers are utilizing. So how does the CRM, maybe plus the coaching, help people really track that progress and see those results?
Yeah. There's a lot of CRMs out there, right? There's free ones, there's paid ones, there's overpriced ones, if you ask me. We created the first home care specific CRM, which we call sales management software more than anything, because that's really what it is. It's not a white labeled product. We designed it for our marketers. Everything we offer and everything we sell is a solution to a problem that we faced. And the nice thing about this CRM, for lack of better words, is that it really holds your marketer accountable from an owner standpoint. It allows the owner to own the database, obviously, in case there's ever turnover in that role. But it also supports the marketer, which I think is just as important as holding them accountable. It's not easy being a salesperson walking into a field, whether you have experience or not. So we've gamified the whole approach, or our systematized approach, I should say. So that way there's a point system embedded depending on their activities, face-to-face activities, drop-offs, presentations. And we have metrics and KPIs that are built into this that if they're followed and they're achieved, you'll see successful results. And it's pretty standard. We look at those annually to ensure we're helping implement best practices with our clients. So that's really the nuts and bolts of it. Obviously, there's a lot more to it, but for our shotgun approach today, I'll leave it there.
That was great. In addition to everything that you've shared, what really makes 52 Weeks marketing different than some of the other marketing programs out there in home care?
Yeah, I'm happy you asked that one. There's really no other company like us out there. And the main reason for that is we are still owned and operated by a home care owner. Debbie Miller, my mother-in-law, a brilliant lady, she is out there like witnessing new pain points on an ongoing basis, whether it was COVID-19 and the obstacles and challenges associated with that, or readmission rates that are on the rise, anything like along these lines. We're always customizing and building our resources. 52 Weeks marketing, we have 52 resources every year that are unique. They're not recycled, they're not reused. And there's no other company, to my knowledge, out there that's building these types of resources out that are short snippets of valuable information that can lead to improving patient outcomes, reducing readmission rates, helping seniors age in place wherever they call home. So that's a big factor. The other thing is Debbie started this business to really help home care owners, become successful. So we don't sell to anyone and everyone under the sun. We sell to one agency essentially in each territory. Now, we have two different tracks. We have a track A and a track B, which does enable us to work with up to two agencies with two different systems, essentially. So no one's competing with each other. No one's walking in with the same resources. It's a real value add when you can show up with something new every week that's of value to the organization you're trying to get referrals from. The other thing is, again, going back, less than 3% of owners have sales or marketing experience. They're looking for a solution that's turnkey, and that's what we really are. We're providing a solution to a pretty large problem in this industry. A lot of owners start a business and don't realize what's involved in the marketing side until they even meet with us, to be completely honest. So I would say that's important. Aside from that, we offer coaching. It's not a service we sell, but we offer coaching with our clients when they need it, especially to help get them up and going and following the best practices so that they get the results they need. And that's done with the CRM as well as without the CRM, different styles of coaching, but both very effective.
Mm.
So yeah, that's what I would say to that.
So much good information. One last bonus question here. What is something that most people don't know about 52 Weeks marketing?
Yeah, that's a cool one. I guess most people don't really realize that we're still owned by a home care owner, which is pretty cool. Like, we are in the mix. We have marketers that are in the mix, and we're always looking for better solutions to problems that we face out in the field every day. So when I do a demo for a new agency or an existing agency, whatever it may be, more times than not, they like that. There's comfort in that, and they're surprised by it. I would also say, going back to solving problems, like we have a virtual assistant service because we use 7 virtual assistants in our business, and it solved a major issue regarding scheduling and recruiting and the consistency behind that, the on call on Saturdays, these types of things. So we're really proud of the VA business that we built out as well, just based on all the back end support we're able to provide throughout the process.
Amazing. Dylan, you're off the hook. That was fantastic. So much good information and such a great overview of all of the services that you provide. So thank you so much for joining me today. And thank you to 52 Weeks Marketing for sponsoring the Home Care Strategy Lab. Tune into the show every week wherever you get your podcasts, and reach out to 52 Weeks Marketing by requesting more information on this page.
Thanks, Miriam.